great. So again, thank you for joining us tonight as we celebrate the appointment of Dr. John Shin to the Kingdon Saylor Family Endowed Chair in Neurosurgery. It really is a privilege and a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. And for me, it's especially meaningful because in my capacity as an internist, I've had the privilege of working with John as we've shared the care of a number of patients over the years. I'd like to welcome John's family here tonight. John's mother is here, Erica. And Erica, I'll confess to the crowd that as she was coming up the stairs, I walked over and said, "You must be John's wife." Erica, you should take this as a great compliment. We're also joined by John's wife, Christina, and two of his three children, his daughters Lila and Addison, and his son Ben, who is at Andover. He has a major exam tomorrow, and so John and Christina gave him a license not to come and see. Witnessing this connection between longtime friends, be they colleagues or patients or donors, really reinforces just how special of an institution the MGH is. We really are a true family here, and I don't use that term lightly. And just walking around, visiting with so many colleagues, the feeling is tangible. So I really like to thank all of you for being here tonight. So I'll be your host this evening, and you'll also be hearing from Dr. Bob Carter, Chair of the Department of Neurosurgery, donors Michael and Laura Ward, and the inaugural incumbent, John Shin. And I really do have to take a moment to thank Michael and Laura, as well as the rest of their family, for their remarkable generosity in establishing this Kingdon Saylor Family Endowed Chair in Neurosurgery. After years of supporting John's work, they spearheaded the creation of this prestigious position for John, only further proving their unparalleled both generosity and wisdom in terms of who they've chosen to support. Now, the gift of an endowed chair is really an extraordinarily philanthropic investment, and it reminds me of a paraphrased quote from The Merchant of Venice. "The quality of mercy is twice blessed. It blesseth both the giver and the receiver," just as this chair reflects so well, both on the donor and on the incumbent. It has a powerful impact, not only on the faculty member, but also on the department, and most importantly, our patients. Endowed chairs serve as the highest academic award, frankly, that a hospital can give. And they provide an enduring reservoir of support to help Mass General recruit and retain the best of the best. And John, you are a great example of this. Furthermore, these chairs honor the legacies of treasured physicians, scientists, and dear friends of Mass General while advancing medicine for future generations. We are honoring true life-changing excellence in medicine. So thank you, Laura, and thank you, Michael, for your continued commitment to Mass General, neurosurgery, and John's pioneering work. Now, today's chair is especially notable as it's one of only two endowed chairs to impact spinal neurosurgery. And previous chairs for this department have understandably gone primarily to those affecting brain treatment. But it doesn't surprise me that John would be one of the first neurosurgeons to break the mold. He is truly a luminary in his field. As Director of Spine Oncology and Spinal Deformity Surgery, and Director of the Neurosurgery Spine Network at Mass General, John has treated some of the most complex and challenging spinal disorders. Many cases that others in his field are frankly hesitant to take on. His talents are unmatched, and his patients who come from all over the world have described him as exceptional and approachable. Patients often don't care how much you know. until they know how much you care. Now, I wanted to just take a minute to read a review from a patient that, in just a couple of short sentences, easily summarized John's ability to make a patient feel whole again. This patient wrote, "My neck was shattered 45 days ago, and I could not feel my arms, and I could not feel my legs. I came home today able to walk, to dance, to garden, and make my world-famous spaghetti for my family. But it's Dr. John Shin who both gave me back my frozen arms and legs, that saved my life. John, few people are as gifted as you, but I know you'd correct me to say that your work is very much team-based, and that you look at this appointment as a win for all who work with you. The collaborative spirit of your team represents the depth and breadth of Mass General's clinical and research strengths to tackle one of the most pressing priorities in healthcare, diseases of the nervous system. So I want to express my heartfelt congratulations to you, John, and to your team for this well-deserved honor, and we are so proud and happy for you. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Bob Carter, Chair of the Department of Neurosurgery, and Bob is a world leader in his own right.
Well, it's very special to welcome all of you here this evening. To Michael and Laura, we especially want to thank you for being here with us. To our Shin family, we've got John and Christina, of course, and Ben, as you've heard, is away, and Lila and Addison. It was fun to chat with you earlier, learning about your dad's skill in skiing and other things. It turns out he tore his ACL once, and that's been revealed too. Also, Erica, as a proud mother, this has got to be a special moment to see how much John has achieved, and we're especially pleased to welcome you as well. As chair of the Department of Neurosurgery, this type of event is truly one of our most special moments. In creating the Kingdon Saylor Family Endowed Chair, we've been able to partner with two incredibly thoughtful people. And Michael and Laura, you'll hear from both of them shortly, but just the opportunity that we had to dialogue about your vision and how you would like to impact and create a legacy, I thought was just outstanding and truly wonderful. It was your vision that allowed us to create the first endowed chair in spinal neurosurgery here at Mass General. And like the citizen founders of Mass General 2 centuries ago, who came together to create this hospital, you two now have woven your thread of legacy into the fabric of this institution, and we want to thank you for that. We look forward to honoring that legacy with the research and the education and all of the innovations that will benefit patients made possible by your generosity. There's only one first chair in spinal neurosurgery, and that's the Kingdon Saylor chair. And as Britt noted, we actually had a commitment for another chair. So vision follows vision. I can't think of a more special person to be the first incumbent than John. John, this is an incredible recognition to you. Your journey, which began at Brown and then off to Chicago Med, and your training at UIC Chicago, and then off to Cleveland Clinic, only set the stage for when you arrived in 2011 as a young instructor of neurosurgery here at Mass General. But you had the vision, and in just over a decade, you've become an academic leader in spinal neurosurgery. And I think it's an incredible legacy that you've already started to create as an academic superstar. More about that piece later. Here at home, John built his reputation as a doctor's doctor. He became a physician that was known for the highest level of spinal neurosurgery care. And as Britt mentioned, often taking on challenges or cases that others had hesitated to do. And I recently felt this on a personal level. I had a longtime family friend whose young adult son has been battling astrocytoma, low-grade astrocytoma, for over a decade. And not too long ago, I was called by this now out-of-state friend and asked to see if I could weigh in or help. And it turns out that this young man had new symptoms and a new MRI which revealed a 9-centimeter sacral mass. We don't like to use the words 9 centimeter and sacral mass in the same sentence. And this individual had seen top academic spine surgeons in other facilities. And the statement was really, we don't think there's anything we can do. Maybe try some radiation, but surgery is sort of off the table. But I asked John if he would take a look at the films, and within a short time, the family was flying here with their son, and he underwent surgery. And I'm really happy that just a few days later, he was able to walk out of the hospital fully intact with the mass removed. Now, I had the occasion, because of my personal connection with the family, to drop into the OR that day and sort of see the work that you were accomplishing. And the surgeons, we have a way of making mental note of our colleagues' work, trying to get tips and tricks, watching the new things that they do. And we also maybe keep a little mental scorecard. How am I doing compared to my colleagues? And when I observed that beautiful work that John had done, preserving functionality in a very close friend, I made a mental note. To myself, John was what I call a DGS. Now, the G-rated version of that is he's a darn good surgeon. And most important to me was really, though, not your technical skill, John, but as Britt said, the kindness and the friendship that you really showed to this young family and their challenges. Being a doctor's doctor has not been your only aspiration. And we've talked for many years about how you've wanted to treat complex spinal disease, to master that, but also to help us learn about spinal disease and how we integrate science into the effort, how we develop new paradigms for training and developing skills in our mentees and our colleagues, how we integrate those efforts into the community, and then how we promulgate this knowledge nationally and internationally. And so in these domains, you've been a tour de force, whether you've been speaking at an international conference or working to set up a new fellowship here in town or creating a new research project. It's been exciting to watch, and I think all of us are greatly appreciative. You've been there for us as colleagues, as partners, as friends, and to your patients, and all of us, you've been a truly inspirational leader and friend. So I'm pleased to announce that tonight, not only will John be installed as the incumbent in the Kingdon Saylor Family Chair, but now he will build on the legacy of Dr. Larry Borges, our Director of Spine Surgery, who's also here tonight. And John will be taking over as our next Chief of Spinal Neurosurgery here at Mass General. So kudos to the great foundation that Larry built, but also the opportunity for John to lead us in this effort in the future, further cementing the legacy of the Kingdon Saylor Family Chair as part of a major contribution to the life of this institution. So with this terrific news to celebrate on multiple fronts, I want to thank you, John, for all that you've brought to the department, and also to you, Michael and Laura, and we'll turn it over to Michael to give some additional, Laura, to give some additional comments. Laura will go first. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, this is exciting. It was funny because I walked past where I entered when I did had the surgery, which was 8 years ago, and I just thought, this is fantastic. I'm replacing that sort of scary memory of walking to this, which is just so incredibly special to me and meaningful to our family to celebrate you in this way. So thank you, and thank you for your introduction. It's been really fun to get to meet lots of people who admire Dr. Shin as much as I do, which is fun. It's a little fan fest. And our kids wanted to be here as well, but they were just moved to New York and they were not able to get up here, but you are very special to our family, and thank you. So I met Dr. Shin 8 years ago, and I was told I had to have immediate surgery for, I'd probably get it all wrong, but like compressed spinal cord. It was an overwhelming situation, and when I met Dr. Shin, I knew in that moment, in our meeting, that I was in the right place, that this was the right person. And I'd heard, and I done my research, and I knew he was a masterful, skilled surgeon, and that he gave me a lot of confidence in answering my thousands of questions patiently, openly, and made me feel I had a lot of trust in you to take good care of me. But for me, it was, I think, a real moment that I knew that I was in the right place was when we were talking about the process, and you said to me, I'm gonna do my part, and I know I can do my part. And there's a role that you have to play as well in the recovery. And the success of the surgery depends on both of us. And I was just like, whoa, what? Like, I'm involved in this? Like, I'm not just gonna go in, pick it out, come out. And I have to say, it's something I've never forgotten. I took it very seriously. I took my recovery very seriously, and I feel like what it did for me was to empower me and to not feel that I was having something done to me, but that I was really a part of this, and that my role was very important, and you made me feel that. And I know that you make all your patients feel that way, and I think we are so excited to support all of your work, and I hope that lots of people get to experience the same kind of change of life that I did. I mountain bike, and I don't run or ski, but I do a lot of other things now, lots of new fun hobbies. So I just want to thank you so much for everything. And we're really excited to see what you do. Michael's going to talk a little bit more about that.
We need to shift.
Okay.
Congratulations, John. It's really amazing news, and just wonderful. And most importantly, thank you for what you did for Laura and for us as a family. We couldn't be more grateful or appreciative of your extraordinary care, as just an amazing doctor. We're also, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on because I can't actually read. We're also incredibly grateful for the care of MGH, as a whole. And I won't go into the details, but whether it was recently with Dr. Carter, who jumped in to help a colleague of mine whose husband, had some very serious medical issues, or quite frankly, a few years ago, where my assistant's daughter called and said, my mother is dying, and came to help, and Mass General put an amazing team in place that saved her life, and she was here for 2 months. But these are all instances of this extraordinary, talented organization that exists here, that we are so lucky to have access to in Boston, that, John, you're a very important part of. But it's all, and it's an organization that can provide life-changing care, which is often not available elsewhere. And so that leads me back to Dr. Shin. I know I sort of went off on a path, and Laura said I was going off on a path, but it's one of the things that was just so incredible to us was connecting with you around your research and what you're trying to do with your research. So it wasn't just about you as a doctor and a surgeon and an incredible person, but learning about what you were doing to treat spine disease and deformity and degeneration and all of those other kinds of things, we just thought was just so amazing, and all the work that was going on with your team in the lab, and your passion and your mission to change the way patients were treated. That was such a connection for us. Again, beyond what you had done for treating Laura, and you're just becoming a champion for changing the way patients are treated, as it relates to these really challenging things that they face. And that was so energizing. It was so exciting. And it's quite frankly just so needed, in the world. And I just, watch what other people experience who don't have access to these extraordinary capabilities. But your passion to sort of bring this forth and change the way the world thinks about these things, and helping patients, challenge these diseases and complex diagnoses, and the way they're treated, not just here but everywhere. And so that was really important to us as we thought about you and what you do and how you can impact the world. So we thank you for all of that and all that you will do as we go forward from here. And we're just incredibly excited that you're going to be the chair. And I now guess I get to introduce you as the Chief of Spine Neurosurgery and the Director of the Mass General Spine Neurosurgery Network. So congratulations and thank you for all that you do for so many people.
All right, well, it's really an honor to be here, and I don't know how I can follow all of that, honestly. But first of all, I really want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy lives to just pause, breathe, and to come together. I think in this day and age, it's pretty rare when we can all get together and just enjoy each other's company. And as much as this is a celebration of the generosity of Michael and Laura and what this chair represents, as Bob and Britt so eloquently stated, from my standpoint, it's really an opportunity to thank everybody who's really helped me on this journey. And as much as I'd love to talk about every single person in this room and also those who could not be here tonight, I just do want to share some insights and stories and also mention some individuals who really had a great impact on me to get me to this point. First of all, Laura and Michael, thank you so much for your overwhelming generosity, your openness, and just being so generous with your support and really believing in me, believing in what we can do here at the MGH. And over many discussions, breakfasts, tours of the hospital, offices, laboratories, it was always such a great pleasure of just being able to share what I wanted to do, and Bob believing in that and really being an agent for that. And so I'm very grateful and honored. This gift really helps fuel our work to advance multidisciplinary spine research that extends our impact beyond the operating rooms. The breadth of our work spans multiple domains, whether it's oncology, degeneration, predictive analytics, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, basic science research, biomechanical engineering, and more. There's so much that we're doing, and your generosity is actively fueling that. And as you can tell, I obviously am not doing all those things, but it is a team effort, and there are many people in this room who help me in that regard and who do feed into, fuel, and execute that vision. And so for that, there are very tangible ways in which your generosity and spirit have made truly a deep impact on my life, and I'm very grateful for that. Your gift helps support and nurture exceptional students, residents, and fellows who are all part of our spine research program, like one of our most prominent and dedicated research scientists, Dr. Ellie Massad, who is truly a gem and a once-in-a-lifetime talent who's here with us tonight. I want to take this time to thank everyone here who has inspired, encouraged, and challenged me in some way in my just over 10 years here at the MGH. It is the strength of these bonds and the nature of these relationships that has really nurtured fantastic collaborations and facilitated my growth as a surgeon, mentor, educator, researcher, and a colleague. I know Bob Ackerman, my first mentor here, who was an emeritus neurologist and neuroradiologist at the MGH, would be thrilled to see all of this happening. I honor his memory every time I walk by the neurovascular laboratory on grade 2. And I think Michael Lev is here, who was with me from way back when I was an undergrad, trying to learn about medicine and had my first experience here at the MGH. I really want to thank my family as well, especially my mother Erica, who came from Los Angeles and set the foundation for who I am with her strong mentality, fierce determination, tireless work ethic, and generous spirit, and generosity for service. My mother was a pace setter in her time and sacrificed a world of possibilities so that my younger brother James and I could have a better life. She graduated from the most prestigious women's university in Seoul, Korea, and subsequently attended graduate school for mathematics in Japan. This was unusual for a woman at that time in post-war paternalistic South Korea. And she gave up so much of what could have been so that my brother and I could have a life of new opportunities. And she did this all as a single mother on the north side of Chicago. So I will forever be grateful for her dedication, her sacrifice, and the life that she and my grandparents provided for my brother and I. I also want to thank and acknowledge my dearest Christina and my kids, Ben, Lila, and Addison, who keep me sane, keep me grounded, and do not hesitate to remind me of my chores at home and to walk the dog even after a long day of operating. Christina especially has been so forgiving, understanding, and accepting of countless hours in the operating room, in the office, traveling, meetings, all while I was trying to figure out who I was, what kind of impact I wanted to make, and what type of legacy I wanted to create as well in a platform like this. She literally risked her life when I decided to drive us through a nor'easter in January of 2011 from Cleveland, Ohio to interview here. And many may know this story, many may not. And we did it. I got a call, email from Shin Marzano saying there is a nor'easter coming, don't worry about it. I said, what are you talking about? There's too much at stake. We've got to move on with our lives here. I'm tired of being a fellow. I was a fellow for 2 years in Cleveland. Most spine fellowships are 1 year. I did a 2-year fellowship in Cleveland. I was ready. So we did the drive. I convinced her. Actually, I don't really remember that conversation, but we were in the car. Only to find out that morning we rolled in, 7 o'clock, into the Liberty, getting an email that everyone stayed home. And I emailed Shin and I said, I'm ready to go. But the only one who showed up is Kevin O. And so, what does that say about Kevin? And so that was memorable. And then the long drive home without an offer in hand and with a broken steering wheel. Because at one of the rest stops, I had skid on ice and I hit sort of one of the lights, but I didn't tell her that, so I had to finish the trip. And she had faith in me when I argued and truly believed that we could beat the storm on the CNN weather map. Because we were tracking that on the iPad, and I was convinced we could beat that blue cloud over the entire eastern seaboard. I assure you my decision making has evolved since then. Good times. Happy birthday, sweetie. This evening would not be possible without Sarah Gaylord. Sarah, wherever you are. I feel so lucky to have you as my advocate and champion, and thank you so much, Sarah. We've had many conversations, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for me and for helping us with the awards. As I look around this room, I see so many who have influenced and entrusted me with their friendship, faith, and confidence. Dr. Carter, you've been an incredible, wonderful advisor, mentor, and your support and leadership have truly helped me in ways I can't express, and have really taught me so many invaluable lessons about listening, about leadership, and about having a vision. My colleague, Dr. Larry Borges. Dr. Borges has long exemplified to me the level of care and professionalism to aspire to as a neurosurgeon and physician at the MGH. When I first got to the MGH, I was quite honestly quite intimidated by Dr. Borges just because of his reputation, his stature, and known for meticulous surgical detail, surgical care, and also interpersonal relationships. So to Dr. Borges, I am so grateful for your counsel. We've had many conversations over the last several years, and for setting such an example for me. Dr. Will Curry believed and supported my passion for multidisciplinary cancer care from day zero. Dr. Patel, Dr. Nayhead, who I don't think are here tonight, for your astute insights, guidance, friendship. And then to the spine team, Ganesh Shankar, Teresa Williamson, Kathleen, and Julia. You inspire me every day, your energy, tireless work ethic, and passion for taking care of our patients, and Jean Kumans. Much of the joy I have here at the MGH really comes from collaborating across departments and programs and building inclusive communities to deliver the best possible care for our patients and advance research. Spine surgery is a interdisciplinary endeavor, and it has been so rewarding for me to experience how, with shared deep purpose, we can and will continue to transform patient care for the best care for our patients. A highlight of my usual week is operating and collaborating with surgeons from other disciplines, such as plastics, vascular, thoracic, and orthopedic surgery. Now, this often stresses out our OR staff, and two of them are here today, Julie and Brittany. Now, these pros, they can tolerate working with multiple surgeons, but it's really a testament to the institution and what we have that they can thrive and really help us excel in the theater of complex spine surgery. I'd like to especially thank my friends and specifically my orthopedic colleagues. I work very closely with my orthopedic colleagues, Stu Hirschman, Joe Schwab, Tom Cha, who've been such gracious comrades in battle in the operating room and working together deep in the trenches, in and outside the OR. As many of you know, one of my main passions is oncology, and I moved to see, I really feel so lucky and so grateful to have colleagues from radiation oncology and the Cancer Center here with us this evening. Finally, I want to thank my core team of Lainey Dunleavy and Christina Schultz. Where's Christina? I haven't seen Christina in months. For their unwavering support, dedication, and I don't know, I'm speechless. It's hard to really express how much they mean to me. Lainey is simply indestructible and unflappable. Christina Schultz, my nurse practitioner extraordinaire, the one who indeed does everything but the surgery and is happy to tell everyone about that. Patient advocate, confidant, and new mom to precious Ava Parker Hill, the first of her name. These are exciting times, Laura and Michael, and your support is centerpiece to all of it. I could not be here, I could not do the work that Bob and Brett alluded to without your generous support. And that helps fuel so many of the collaborations that I just mentioned. So what's next? As Bob mentioned, we will soon be launching our Mass General Brigham Spine Fellowship. And one day, hopefully we can combine that with orthopedics. And in addition to all the great clinical and research things that we're doing, I'm also going to be going back to school to get my executive MBA at Kellogg, and that's going to be starting soon. I'm not giving up my day job. There's way too much to do. I feel like we're just getting started, actually. So I really want to thank everyone for coming this evening, and really to thank you, Bob, Britt, for your generosity, time, and for your unwavering support. So thank you very much.
John, thank you for such a personal, open, humble, sort of honest sharing of your career, your life, the people who have been important to you. I think if anyone ever had a doubt, and nobody had a doubt, about whether you were the right person for this chair and honor, it was completely erased after your comments this evening. I have the pleasure now of presenting commemorative gifts to both Michael and Laura, and to John to honor tonight's occasion. So if I could have all of you come up here. I haven't dropped one of these yet, but there's always a first time. So actually, in many ways, given the support that you have provided to John over the years, I would say this one's sort of long overdue. But this reads, with deepest gratitude to Laura and Michael Ward for their generosity in creating the Kingdon Saylor Family Endowed Chair in Neurosurgery, celebrated on October 27, 2022. So John, even though this is smaller, this is meaningful. All right. This one says, John Shin, MD, inaugural incumbent, Kingdon Saylor Family Endowed Chair in Neurosurgery, celebrated on October 27, 2022. So this concludes the formal part of this evening's celebration, but the bar is open. There's still plenty of food.
We have birthday cake for Christina.
Oh. Well, should we sing happy birthday?
No. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christina. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
The two bowls and the little.
Look around the other side. One more. You're always very personal.
Yeah, it's water. Did you get it? My water.
So many people. I will say, this is like my niece's house. You guys can go here this first. Just feel it. The way you were talking about each other, talking to each other, it's really very impressive. Yeah, that's fair.
John's water.
Yes, so I was gonna send you pictures of the Michael's mom's my dad's middle name. So, both wonderful people. My dad's not around anymore. I just wanted to all my kids want to be their kids
You guys actually forced us to come up with a name. Never named anything ever. And so it's great. It's good. The fire pit a bunch of times talking about this now. He's way more important. So you started? Or you started?
Yeah, I used to get it just it's like another skill set. Just something that takes a couple of years. It takes about 2 years. So it's just
You're gonna bring a lot to
But as John said, the healthcare
searching for something that I apply for and get certification. That's really something to just the cases and all, which I love to do. That's in my DNA, but really open my eyes by thinking about communication, networking, negotiation, things that are not just they don't get trained on how to do it and work in teams. No, but it's not, you're amazing. No, but it's teams. But to think about like philosophies and organizational culture, that's what I was saying. You know, if you can shut that down and just
and it's still going to be operating.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Oh yes.
I hadn't heard that story, so
Yeah,
something.
Hi. Hi, Mom.
Congratulations again.
You got a picture? Yeah.
I think the action's on the way.
Alright, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Pick a reflective spot. There you go. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you,
I had a television
I was telling,
They're like 3 minutes. I'm like, 3 minutes. Come on, man.
I was telling John that first time I met you, you were folding laundry. You're folding laundry, and there's like water dripping. And like, for some reason, I didn't know the Cleveland part of your story.
Oh yeah, I was there for 2 years.
I thought you went from Chicago to here.
No, I did a 2-year fellowship.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
1 year took all surgery. Very well remember that. Like oncology, radio surgery. I kind of crafted.
I didn't mention the world. I drove from New York City here.
I kept telling her, close your eyes. I want to get away from
Oh, it's super stressful. But the thing is, you're nuts because I think your first place in Cambridge too. I can't remember. It was like a rental. Yeah. Yeah, you guys short time. I remember Joe Swat took it. Yeah, he took the bus. I remember the bus. Yeah. Took the bus.
Are you taking a video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Following you
Got the
now.
whole thing on a
But this
loop
is
right
low
now.
battery, so I'm
She was like, I'm going to bring the VHS.
It's low battery, low battery.
Get the Betamax out of here.
I'm wait. Want to finish it? I'm going to get this phone. I'll get it.
I don't know. I don't think you said
I'm happy for you.
he was here actually a while
Couldn't
ago.
happen to a better guy. Well deserved. You're doing good work.
Yeah.
So, just to add some color to this conversation, our 16-year-old now has a permit, and I am like every day, let's go, let's drive, let's go. I'm Kevin.
I don't care if you don't want to go. Like, you're
Radiation.
driving. Because I'm tired of driving you around town.
You're
A lot of work.
Chinese, yeah, not Korean.
Yeah.
But my last name's O.
This is like hard.
Yeah. I visited him in Cleveland before he came.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
16 years old. Take your license. Boom, you're done.
I got it right. Congratulations. Yeah, of course. So extra bonus. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Are you documenting everything?
Yeah.
Wonderful comments about you. Wonderful comments. So,
When I did everything, when he got from the baby time.
okay. Great. It's so good that you were here. Okay, thank you.
Wait, so you didn't get your food?
Yeah.
Tell you how many days I just cleaned my door. It's just like,
What's happened to my life? Like, I don't want to pay for this. I want to do this work. You know it's going to feel so much better when you come back.
I try to just like, you know, like 3 It's really, when you think about it,
It's okay, we can go.
He was the first person who acknowledged that I was trying. Thank you, this so and let me before I have to take off.
I get like so
Me and Michael. Yeah. Absolutely. For
I think it's in selfie. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think about it all the time. Run crazy. You're telling me about when you saw my first touchdown. So that was the first time in Boston, and I had forgotten that you had a Brown connection. So for some reason I was just and the other connection I will tell you is that my son is a junior in MSU. So you'll be going out there as a mostly remote. Evanston's beautiful. Pleasure.
Congratulations! Hello, my name. Grandma, it's gonna die. You already took an hour. Oh my god. It's gonna take so much of my memory.
All that stuff.
Grandma, it's gonna take all my time. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you and then I can delete it if you want.
Send it to Daddy. No, don't do that, Daddy. I can tell you with 100% certainty, I would not be there for no, don't do that. You know, means a lot. Very important for Daddy. Thank you. And congratulations. And I look forward to going forward. And you have a very lovely family. Very good. All right. Congratulations.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Stop it. Come and lose Lila's memory.
That is important to me. That is more important.
You can take another one. And obviously share.
Yeah, all
They have like a, so is that, you like travel there every month? It's like Thursday afternoon or something. They have like a gorgeous new, relatively new building. Right on the
my best friend is a
my way of like,
I'm glad I have to say selfishly, I'm glad I still have been 20 minutes before that your fellow council feels like we don't really know yet. I mean, it'll probably be a year away. There's so much to plan. So much going on. We just have to like talk about it. It's another educational all like losing everybody and everybody's great on
You're gonna love you see everything, you're like, you hear all the problems.
Well, congrats again. Oh, yeah. Sure, of course. Yeah. No, thank you.
Right now you're based on you're fine now. Then you rotate.
Congratulations, you must be so proud. I'm one of his residents.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
You can use it for a water bottle holder. I just rolled and I go running.
Oh, running. Excuse me, may I go through? Excuse me.
You know what I mean? When it's whatever.
Stop recording for a second. Just stop recording for a second. Just stop recording for a second. Just stop recording for 1 second.